Am I the asshole? For changing the wedding venue, my fiancé chose to something more flashy as a surprise. I am marrying this coming October. We both have very large families, but hers is really poor and kind of traditional. As a result, my fiancé has been taught to always go for the cheapest option throughout her life, whether we are going out to eat or buying clothes or going on holiday. Well, we've been planning the wedding, and the choice of venue was typical for her: a small local church where she was christened. Right off the bat, the place isn't suitable for the number of guests who will be invited, and I knew she only chose that location because of money, which is not an issue. I spoke to my father, and he agreed to fund a wedding abroad in Venice. I'm their only child, so getting married is a big deal, and to arrange transportation for all the guests. He agreed to cover all expenses. So obviously I changed the venue and sent out invitations. I knew the money spent would make her anxious, and she has always dreamed of visiting Venice, so I waited to tell her until it was organized as a surprise. Well, she didn't take it well and said I was a massive asshole and that she had much preferred the church venue. She said it was too embarrassing to cancel it now that I've told people, but seems really mad. I'm confused since that venue was never practical, and am wondering if I'm the asshole here or if she's overreacting. Am I the asshole? You're the asshole. Why would you change not only the venue but the location of the wedding without talking it over with the person you are marrying? Why is Venice a better choice than the church she has an emotional connection with better? Would your partner have liked a destination wedding in a place other than Venice better? Why do you and your father get to make these decisions for her without even involving her? You're the asshole. A marriage is supposed to be a partnership. You operated completely behind her back, then revealed it once it was a fait accompli. How can you be confused about her reaction? You think you sent the message he's willing to get his parents to do extravagant things for us, or if you didn't tell her it's daddy's money, he's willing to spend so much to give me nice things. The message you actually sent is he does not give one benighted fuck about my feelings and desires. He's always going to make huge decisions behind my back. X200B, you'll be lucky if she doesn't call it off. You're the asshole. Going behind your partner's back to change a huge aspect of something they're planning seems to be the absolute worst way to start a marriage. Next time communicate, like a normal husband would. I knew the money spent would make her anxious, and she has always dreamed of visiting Venice. So, why didn't you just plant a honeymoon there? Dude, her family may not even have passports to leave the country. International travel isn't a norm for working-class families. You didn't change the venue, you completely uprooted what was a beautiful commitment ceremony and made it a lavish party for you. You're the asshole. You're the asshole. So much so that it's astounding it's not obvious to you. Her choice wasn't about money, but about a sentimental attachment to the venue. You didn't communicate, you didn't discuss, you simply went ahead and disregarded her feelings. If you wish to have a successful marriage, you better learn to listen. X200B. Edit typo. You're the asshole. You need to learn the difference between our and mine. Is your fan going to change your firstborn's name behind her back too? Agree to a family home and then buy a condo behind her back. Agree to a family car, then buy a Beamer cause you are the boss. This is your first big decision as a couple. You took that away. Not cool. You're the asshole, and you have just shown her that you feel like you have the right to decide things without consulting her because you have the money and she doesn't. Also, the emotional value of the church that she was christened is probably more important to her than it being flashy. You're the asshole. Did it ever occur to you that your wife choosing the same church she got christened in to get married in might have had more to do with sentimental value and emotional connection to the location as opposed to the cost? You seem like you have no interest in marrying your wife and just having a party to impress people that daddy has money and will spend it on his special boy. You're the asshole. You are about to start a relationship, and instead of acting like a partner, you made a unilateral decision, which goes against the nature of who your fiancé is. Guaranteed, She is going to have relatives who won't feel comfortable taking what they see as a handout and showing off wealth difference. Dude. Seriously. You're the asshole. The wedding isn't about you, it's about both of you together, meaning that all decisions need to be made together. This was a really shitty thing to do. You don't just completely change the entire plan of a wedding like that without telling the fucking bride. Of course guests are confused, that's absolutely ridiculous of you to do, and if it were me, I would be leaving you over this. Major breach of trust and communication. You're the asshole. If her family are poor, how will they be able to afford to travel and pay hotels etc.? You should have stuck to the original wedding plans and went on honeymoon to Venice. You're the asshole. This is definitely something that should have been discussed. You didn't just change the venue, you hijacked the wedding. She may have chosen the church because it has sentimental value as that's where she was christened. Or it could have been about price. You should have still discussed a different venue before hijacking the entire wedding and changing the whole aspect of it. You're the asshole. It would have been a very nice gesture if you had talked about it with her. And even if you would have decided to keep the small church venue after all, your fiancé would have appreciated your idea. Please talk together when you make plans. Not everybody likes surprises, even nice thoughtful ones. You're the asshole. That should have been a conversation with her. Abroad weddings are so much more complicated than just money. People need to take longer off work which might not be allowed, they might not have the annual leave for it and so won't be paid. Is daddy paying for that? People might not have passports and so can't actually travel. Is daddy paying for that? What language is the ceremony in? The extra costs of traveling, like paying for extra meals or the fact that everyone else is going out. Is daddy paying for that? Why on earth would you not just talk to your fiancé? Like this would be a massive deal breaker for me. You could have just gone on honeymoon to Venice. You're the asshole. Although I see you are trying to be generous. It's a day that's important to her and you should have included her on such a serious decision. Others may still not be able to attend even if the base costs were covered. You're the asshole. Always discuss with your fiancé about everything wedding related. You say you know she only chose the church because it was cheap, but she was also christened there, so it could mean a lot more than what you think it really does. Also, I'm not sure where you're located and Venice could be a 2-day trip, which means family members have to request 2 days off that they may not have despite travel being paid for. Personally, I don't think she's mad that you chose Venice. I think she's just upset that you did it without discussing it with her. I'm confused since that venue was never practical. So why didn't you, AITA, talk to her about it? You wanted to show off is why. Your marriage is doomed if you can't learn to discuss important issues with your wife. You're the asshole. You're the asshole. Should have sat down and discussed it with her, instead of immediately deciding to do a destination wedding. You're the asshole. Unilateral decision-making does not make for a strong marriage. Also, you come off as a little bit classist in this post. You're the asshole. Jesus fuck, by the way honey, I rescheduled our wedding venue to Venice. Is not the vibe you think it is. You're the asshole. Offering Venice would be an awesome thing to do, but not without consulting her. That is a massive change of plans. You're the asshole. That church has sentimental value to her and her family, and that is clearly why she chose it. You could have just narrowed the guest list down for the ceremony in the church itself and invited more people to the reception after party. Instead you've gone way out of line and organized something completely different that your future wife clearly doesn't want, without even running it by her. You've been entirely led by what other people will think of your wedding, making you sound shallow and thoughtless. Great qualities in a husband. You're the asshole. You should have talked with her about this. Lol, you're the asshole obviously. Hopefully for her you don't have a prenup. You're the asshole. You should have discussed something this major, not sprung it on her as a surprise. TBH, I hate all surprises, good ones I hate a little less. If my husband had done this, I would be seriously reconsidering the wedding.